All right, so let's get right into it. Have you ever read your horoscope or maybe taken one of those online personality quizzes and just had that moment of, whoa, that's totally me? Well, today we are going to pull back the curtain on the fascinating psychology behind why those super general statements can feel so incredibly personal.
So, picture this. A fortune teller leans in and says that to you. For a second, you might actually think, how did they know that? It feels like they've just peered right into your soul, doesn't it? I mean, just take a second and really think about that phrase. Does it hit home for you? Even a little bit? Yeah, chances are it does. And you know what? There is a very, very specific reason for that uncanny feeling.
That feeling, that sense of being perfectly understood by a generic statement, it has a name. It's a classic psychological phenomenon, and it's called the Barnum effect. Let's break down what it is. So the story of this whole idea goes all the way back to a really clever experiment in 1948. A psychologist, Bertram Forer, gave his students what he told them was a detailed personality test. But here's the twist, the big reveal. He gave every single student the exact same results, which he literally pieced together from newspaper horoscopes. And the result? Almost all of them said the description was spot on. And that experiment just perfectly captures the core idea. The Barnum effect is our brain's tendency to take statements that could apply to pretty much anyone. You know, things like, you have a great need for other people to like and admire you, and believe they are a unique, special description of ourselves. It's actually named after the famous showman P.T. Barnum, who said his circus had a little something for everybody.
Okay, so Forrest's experiment was way back in the 40s, right? But you could argue that this effect is more powerful today than it has ever been. Let's just look at all the places it pops up in our modern world.
I mean, you see it everywhere, right? It's in your daily horoscope, those fun quizzes you find in magazines, or even in the whole blood type personality thing that's big in some cultures. The huge boom in personality types like the MBTI, that relies on broad statements too. Even a simple motivational phrase like, you have unlimited potential. Well, that works because who doesn't want to believe that about themselves?
So this brings up a huge question. If these statements are so general, why are they so darn convincing? It's not because we're gullible, not at all. It actually comes down to the way our brains are wired.
First things first, we are all, naturally, a little self-centered. It's just how we're built. Think about it. You can be in a super noisy room and tune out all the chatter, but the second somebody says your name, your attention just snaps right to it. It's the exact same with information. If we think a statement is about us, our brain's little "it's not me" radar starts pinging like crazy, and we pay super close attention. And then there's this other trick our memory loves to play on us. It's called confirmation bias. If your horoscope says you are a very organized person, your brain instantly flashes to that one time you color-coded your bookshelf, and it conveniently forgets about the giant pile of laundry in the corner of your room. We latch onto the parts that fit, the hits, and just let the misses drift away. But you know, maybe the most powerful reason of all is just this deep, fundamental human need we all have to feel seen, to feel understood. When we read a description that seems to just get our inner world, it's this huge sense of validation, of relief. It feels so good to think someone or something understands us, even if it's just a vague paragraph in an app. Okay, so now that we know all this, should we just throw out every horoscope and personality quiz and call it all a bunch of nonsense? Well, not necessarily. There's a much smarter, more balanced way to look at them. Look, there's a reason these things are so popular. They can be genuinely fun. A positive horoscope can give you a little mood boost. A personality quiz, even if it's not scientific, can be a great jumping-off point for a little self-reflection. At their best, they're just a harmless little spark of joy in your day. So here's the real takeaway. The best thing to do is to treat them as a form of entertainment, not as some kind of undeniable truth. Use them as a fun prompt to think about yourself. Have a laugh with them, but don't let them define who you are or tell you what to do. The smartest way to engage is to just enjoy the ride. And all of this leaves us with one final, much bigger question to chew on. If these outside labels are so easy for our brains to grab onto, it really makes you stop and ask yourself, beyond all the quizzes and the star signs, where does our true, authentic sense of self really come from? That's something to think about.